Everyone, this is Taylor with Royal Gorge Anglers in Canon City, Colorado, the oldest fly shop and guide service on the Arkansas River, and only Orvis Endorsed Outfitter on the drainage. Thanks so much for viewing. We are, of course, celebrating our 25th anniversary this year, 25 years helping anglers in their pursuits in Colorado, as well as globally within our destination travel service, so that has been a lot of fun. Today we're talking about the Arkansas River, and a quick update. Things have changed slightly since our last video report, so wanted to keep everyone up to date on what's going on. Overall, the river is just fishing fantastically. Fish are still voraciously feeding, trying to gain weight from a high runoff. 3 weeks ago we were catching fish that were definitely a little bit skinny on average. Fish had been fighting heavy current for close to 6 weeks, but in the last 3 weeks they've gained weight. I mean, we've got a ton of healthy fish out there right now, and we've really seen some fantastic activity simply due to the fact that there's so many hatches out there. Fish are still feeding hard, trying to gain calories, kind of along with that as well, flows being down in the 800 CFS range this morning and dropping. We will probably see flows more in the 750 CFS range for this weekend in Bighorn Sheep Canyon, which is a fantastic flow. My favorite flow on this river is around 700 CFS, and believe it or not, at 800 CFS this morning, we're almost 300 CFS below historical average for this state. So technically the water is low, and it's hard to believe that after the huge runoff we had here, and the majority of the state had some big runoff as well. So a lot of things going on this river. Like I said, we've still got PMDs hatching, we've got yellow sallies, we've got golden stones. We're beginning to see some good red quill activity subsurface, and it's not long before we see some good red quill activity up top, along with tricos, and a continuation of, like I said, PMDs, yellow sallies, etc. So the month of August, we're going to see a lot of bugs hatching, and little bit lower flows than July, very manageable from a weighting perspective at this point in time. Good floating water as well. Streamer fishing continues to be good, and dry dropper activity is kind of the name of the game still, and should continue through the month of August. We expect August to fish abnormally well just because of the amount of water we had early and the strength of the hatches we've seen thus far in July. We expect a continuation of that, and just a stronger than average fishing month in August, and a continuation of that into the fall. We could have one of the more productive falls that we've seen. So September and October will be most likely fishing just off the chart. And remember, we fish this river, typically until middle of November hard, and we fish this river 365 days a year, but we do have a long season on this river as far as the fall season is concerned. So plan some dates in late October. Those are some really fun times to fish this river, and potentially even into November. We fish this river a ton on Thanksgiving Day. So right now let's focus on what's going on, and kind of look at some patterns and some rigs. Typically what our guides are focusing on is a dry dropper method prospecting, so moving up the river, or working the edges, working structure with a dry dropper rig. Some of our guides are running dry copper dropper as soon as the light gets a little bit higher. What we found in the kind of 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock window, when the light is high, when it's a little bit warmer outside, is that fish do move to broken water, move to heavier current. Some fish even in the heavy current tongue, tail outs, etc. sometimes move a little bit deeper, so potentially you may need to nymph in that window to really be very productive. Some of our guides are still doing really well with dry dropper or dry copper dropper at that point in time. In the morning and in the evening, it's pretty easy to get on fish with the dry dropper or the single dry, so that's pretty much what we're focusing on there. And like I said, streamers are really productive right now still. So fishing those out of the boat or fishing those as you're working back down a shoreline, if you've worked an edge up or a set of structure up and want to work a streamer back down, that's a really good method. As far as dries up top that we're focusing on, a little bit smaller than what we were seeing in early and mid-July. Fish are getting a little bit more picky. We are running a little bit longer leaders, a little bit smaller diameter, so 9-foot 5X leaders rather than 7.5-foot 4X leaders to be most productive. The flies up top that we're liking, Amy's Ants are still standby for us. That's a size 10 right there, but we're fishing those smaller as well. Black foam and tan-bodied chubby Chernobyls, great fly right there, easy to see. Fishing those in smaller sizes, size 14, but larger sizes are continuing to produce a little bit. We are moving into red as a really good productive color, and that is always the case in August and September. So that Turk's Tarantula I just showed you, and the beautiful Tantrum, those are both great lead flies. And a sleeper fly that's been really, really good for us has been the Purple Chubby. That's been a great fly for us up top, and fishing those in 12 and 14. And then, like I said, as far as droppers are concerned, we are starting to see some red quill activities. So let's start off with looking at a couple of those droppers. A new fly that's been out, a little bit is for a little bit is the new hair copper from John Barr. That hair copper in a size 16 and 14 red body would be a good red quill dropper. The hot belly pheasant tail, which is just a standby on this river, that's the hot belly pheasant tail. It's got that great little trigger in the thorax. Red Copper Johns are always standbys, but one that I like a lot, it's tied on the 2499 SP and has little rubber legs, is the Tungsten Rubber Leg Copper John. PMDs are still extremely active subsurface, so running one underneath the dry is definitely a good tactic. Mercer's Poxy Back PMD is a fantastic pattern, and another Mike Mercer pattern is the opal or yellow-bodied glint nymph. Good PMD representation. As far as yellow Sally nymphs are concerned, and they're still producing quite well as a dropper. Like I showed you the hair copper and the red quill, there's a hair copper slightly larger, size 14, yellow body. The small biot epoxy stones, as yellow Sallies are just micro stoneflies. This little stonefly representation's been fishing really well, size 14-16 biot epoxy stone. And then a rubber leg yellow Sally nymph, tungsten bead, great fly. So those are some good droppers to run underneath the dry in a prospecting method. Like I said, you can run dry copper dropper. There are some hoppers out there as well, so we carry a ton of hopper patterns that are fairly productive right now. baby boy, Charlie boys, Moorish hoppers, etc. Um, as far as hatch matching dries are concerned, in the Yellow Sally category, really love this chartreuse foam body baby boy stimulator that is tied locally here by Larry Kingery. Fishes really well. You could even throw a little dropper under it, but fishes great as a single dry. Also, with how many caddis are out there, it fishes well. A good hatch matching dry from the Yellow Sally dry, the Ride Sally Ride, real slight profile, fishes really well. In the PMD category, one of my favorites right now is the Film Critic PMD. That's Bob Quigley's pattern, flag done. CDC Cripple is really hard to beat as well. We fish those in 16s and 18s. Just a great fly, good fly to have a handful of. Sleeper attractor dry to throw on its own, Yellow Humpy. Been fishing that quite a bit and doing well in it in a variety of sizes, 12 through 18. As far as streamers are concerned, and any of those droppers that I mentioned, you can run in a nymph rig as your bottom fly under, say, a tongue stone, a tongue teaser, a rubber leg stone. If the sun's high and it's warm out and fish are in that broken water a little bit deeper, and say that 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock window in the afternoon, that's a good method. It really is. Get a little bit deeper. Fish are still feeding heavily, but throw one of those bigger stoneflies up front. Throw a Yellow Sally, red quill, PMD dropper underneath, even a caddis larva. As far as streamers are concerned, still fishing a lot of large stuff up top and trailers, so tandem rigs. Charlie Craven's Baby Boy is a great fly. Olive. I've been fishing a lot of olive or chartreuse and black, like the Jose, chartreuse and black, and then trailing little micro woolly boogers, and we tie these here locally. These are 14s and really small weighted bodies. That's a great fly. And then the weighted muddler minnow, good fly to run as a trailer as well. So you can run those streamer rigs as you're coming back downstream from working up some structure, or if you just want to focus on streamer fishing, you can do that as well. Streamers are great out of the boat to cover water. Typically we're running a dry fly rig or a dry dropper up front in the boat, and a streamer rig in the back. So anyways, those are some things to think about, some rigs, some flies. Long story short, get down here to experience, August fishing on this river, which in my opinion is going to be, if it's anything like the last 2 to 3 weeks, just off the charts great. If you do have any questions, feel free to give us a call, toll free, 888-994-6743. We do have some guided trip availability in August, although limited and very busy already, obviously, but we do have some availability for walkways and floats. You can look at our trip options online at www.royalgorgeanglers.com. We have a full booking system online that will show you trip options, availability, and pricing per person. If you do have any questions, feel free to give us a call, of course. You can always shoot us an email at info@royalgorgeanglers.com. Thanks so much for viewing. We hope to see you in the fly shop soon or on the river. And thanks so much. Have a great day on the water.